my shadow. You are followed in my pattern.
Hello and welcome to the Ladies' Room. My guest today is Nadia Ernestus. I think a lot of us know Nadia because she's been creating the most wonderful fermented products for years and years. First person I knew that got into it, and she's keeping us all healthy with her fermented foods. And I was just asking you why we weren't rinsing the vegetables.
Well, anyway, today we're going to make sauerkraut.
Yeah,
And the sauerkraut we're going to make today, we called it the Christmas kraut because it's going to be white sauerkraut, red berries, cranberries, and green
kale.
kale. And apples.
Nadia is the Kraut Queen. So this is Sauerkraut 101, folks.
That's right.
We can all do it. It's easy.
And yeah,
Keep
if you
you-
can chop cabbage, you can make sauerkraut.
Start with the small one, or you should
Start
do
with
the
the big one.
Oh, I get
let
the
me
big
give that-
one.
Okay, we'll give you this big one.
Okay.
So anyway, Judy was asking why we don't rinse vegetables. We want the bacteria on the vegetables. What ferments the vegetables, right?
Right.
And why are we even doing it? This is how I prepare the cabbage. I cut this off.
And throw it out for the deer.
We're going to save some leaves because we're going to need them later. So, fermentation is a process where bacteria digest the sugars in the vegetables or in the fruit, and they release lactic acid. And lactic acid makes the ferment progressively more sour, and that acidity kills all the bad bacteria.
Oh, so all the bad bacteria is killed anyway,
It's going to get
and the
killed.
good bacteria
It's
flourish.
going to survive.
Our bodies are made of trillions and trillions of bacteria. And this little thin skin keeps it all inside.
Right? So you put some leaves and we're going to save them.
Okay.
So in our intestines, there is 3 to 4 pounds of bacteria.
Wow.
It's 10 times more bacteria there than the cells in your whole body. There is 10 times more of them than there is of you.
Wow.
And that is what makes you healthy. That is exactly those guys. So
we're
during fermentation, the lactofermentation, because we're trying to get lactobacilli, the probiotics, the lactobacteria. First, we're going to chop it and we're going to mix it with salt. And salt arrests some pathogens, some bad bacteria, and kills some others. And in the absence of that bad bacteria, the good ones start to
Flourish.
right? So we're creating the environment for that bacteria that they like. Okay, so you can chop it any which way,
Okay.
and we're going to put it in a bowl together with other things.
Okay.
So why did I not rinse anything? I mean, I do rinse vegetables from dirt for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
if they have beets or something,
Well, before they put
Or carrots.
put the vegetables in the store, I think they do that.
probably rinse. And then, so where does bacteria come in there? How does it get there? Like some people say you have to add a ferment old brine to start the process. Some people add probiotic pills to start the fermentation.
Probiotic pills?
Yeah. But this bacteria is everywhere. Even if you have something sterilized, the moment you take it out of the sterilizer, it already has bacteria on it. It's all around us, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
It's everywhere.
So we want to have this bacteria on those vegetables and all those fruit. And also think about that. Those vegetables and those fruit are sitting in your kitchen, right? Or in your refrigerator, or in this store in our area, right?
Uh-huh.
So they get local bacteria on them.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
Oh, yeah.
And this is something to be said about that because there might be micro strains that are just particular to us here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to chop that. And then we're going to add other things. And you can, of course, make it with
Well,
absolutely
everyone
everything.
surely is talking about probiotics now. Why is everybody talking about probiotics, Nadia?
Well, because about 12 years ago, we're going to now peel the apples. About 12 years ago, the scientists learned how to sequence bacteria DNA, because each bacteria has DNA. right? And before that, they could only study bacteria that grew in a petri dish. And less than 1% of all bacteria grows in a petri dish.
Huh.
So after they learned how to sequence the bacteria, the DNA of each bacteria, they could grow enough bacteria to study it after that.
Right.
And they started studying it, and they quite freaked out when they saw the results. They started putting all the results in a few databases. You probably heard about Human Microbiome Project,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So they started, like Human Microbiome Project, people study all bacteria that lives on human body and in human body, right? So they started putting it all in, and they started looking at the results. And it turns out that, yes, bacteria completely control a lot of areas of your health. They're directly responsible. I'm sure you were reading the articles. They're directly responsible for the digestion, directly for the immune system, because immune cells are in the lining of your intestines. So if the bacterial balance there is correct, then your immunity is high.
Right.
And on and on.
And on and on. And
But
to
the
have
thing is that when you are born, you're born with your own genetic setup, with your genome, right?
Right.
That you get from your dad and your mom and your Uncle Pete, and you have blonde hair and you have blue eyes.
I don't have an Uncle Pete.
Okay. And you have predisposition to something.
Okay.
Right? And all those zillions of bacteria in your intestinal tract have their own DNA. And that's your second genome. Because they're in such tight symbiosis with you, you don't exist without them. They don't exist without you.
Right.
They are you.
They are us.
So that's your second genome. And the lifespan of those bacteria is much shorter. So if you feed the one that make you healthy, they start growing. And you can substantially increase your health. You can change your second genome.
Absolutely.
Make sense?
Yes, totally.
Let's chop the apple.
Okay.
I chop it in quarters. I core it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, your knife is sharper than mine.
Oops. You can rinse that. It's
I
fine.
can rinse that one.
Yeah, I probably would have, but you can. So that is why it is so important. Now, how do we eat? I'm trying to get all the information into you.
Yeah.
while we're chopping.
What is the best?
Because-
Yeah.
because it's very
We're so busy
important.
chopping we can't
But as
talk.
long as we're chopping, and we have to talk.
We'll have to go back to silent movies.
I'm going to act it out. But anyway, so
So what is the best source of a probiotic?
fermented vegetables. And
Fermented.
actually, believe it or not, sauerkraut, in my opinion.
Sauerkraut.
Because there is something in the sugars of the cabbage that create like this perfect, I don't know, that the bacteria like the best.
Huh.
Because they have the biggest count and the biggest variety of bacteria are in sauerkraut. But other ferments have other bacteria.
Okay.
So
And do you
Milk
how often should you eat it?
you should every day. A little bit, but every day.
Every day.
There is no science on how many units you need to have. You know how it always says zillions of units on your probiotic pills, right?
Yeah.
3 million, 5 billion of something, of
Right.
units.
Right.
But
It's so funny that it'll say 200 billion and it'll be like
And there
a
is-
teaspoon of green
but there is
vibrance
no,
or something.
Yeah, I know, but there is no data on how much you need. The whole idea of putting million and zillions in there is because it's a very American thing, you know. If
Yeah,
something works,
sounds really good.
if something works, then 10 times something gotta work
Yeah,
10 times
200
better, right?
billion. Yeah.
And in fact, it's not true. So a lot of it just gets
How
washed
small
out.
you're chopping it pretty small.
Huh?
You're
So I
chopping the
like
apple
it
pretty
small,
small.
but you don't have to. I'm chopping it in sort of like long thingies like that, so it's almost indistinguishable.
Oh,
From my
okay. Well,
cabbage.
I could just
You
chop
chop-
my long thingy.
Any which way. You can chop the cabbage in
Yes,
quarters
people,
if
you can
want.
make your
It doesn't-
sauerkraut any which way, as
Any which
long as you
way.
make it. Make
Exactly.
it and eat it.
So eat it a little bit every day. And your pill, right? In your pill would be how many? Maybe 3, 4,
Oh, they want you to.
7.
They want you to take 6 a day because
No,
they
I
want to
know,
sell
but how
product.
many
Yeah.
strains are in there? usually. Five, like how many different bacteria? 5, 3, 5, 7. So in sauerkraut, it would be up to 900.
Wow, why?
Not just because in a naturally occurring product, there are all kinds of microstreams. There are other things, not just bacteria. There are enzymes. There is viruses. God knows what else is there. There are spores. We don't even know. But they all work in unity. They all work in tandem, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they get all those good things get delivered exactly where they need to go.
Wow. Human body has incredible intelligence.
I am just adding a random amount of cranberries in here.
No chopping of the cranberries.
Yeah. Unless you have nothing to do in the afternoon, then you by all means.
Yeah.
Okay?
There we go.
And we give
There
you
we
the
go.
rest in here.
Oh boy, I got
Oh,
a lot of
boy.
cranberries.
A lot of cranberries.
Mine's
And
gotta
I
be
also,
better than
because I
yours.
had some kale, I decided we'll use some of that. Now, what happens with kale is very interesting. I don't know if you know that a lot of nutrients in vegetables and in fruit are inside the fiber. There are tight fiber sort of strands that sort of, and they're like woven in it. So, like, you know that with spinach, unless you cook it, you don't get any iron. It's super high in iron. But you
Isn't
have to
it
cook
weird that some vegetables are better for you cooked and some are better for you
either
raw?
because they get released from the
Right.
fiber.
Carrots
Because
are better for you cooked.
because the fiber holds them, and you know how they're crunchy,
Yeah.
and then when you cook them, they're soft because
Yeah.
that fiber gets destroyed.
But-
so vitamin C will be destroyed by heat,
Uh-huh,
but the
right.
iron becomes bioavailable. So you need to eat it both ways.
Right?
That's the conclusion. You eat it raw and
You
you
eat it raw
cooked.
and cooked.
The same thing with kale.
Balance, people, balance.
Kale is super nutritious, like a powerhouse of all kind of good things.
I don't get to chop in
Vitamin
kale.
K, that is also in kraut.
Vitamin K, there aren't that many things that have vitamin K.
Well,
and you
cabbage
need it.
does.
You know, there's 90 trace minerals that we should have every day.
Not trading what?
Trace minerals.
Okay.
And the kale's loaded with minerals, cabbage is loaded with minerals. There was a time
Probably
when...
Himalayan salt would also quite help with
True,
that. Okay,
true.
so we're gonna put a handful.
Grassy.
Okay, so I am giving you sort of the recipe, right, you guys? So this is a random amount, as you can see.
Yeah.
So that amount is not, it doesn't matter. That's what matters, the volume.
size of the jar.
The volume. So I'm giving you the amount of salt per volume of your jar.
Okay.
And how much cabbage you'll stuff in it
Yep.
makes no difference.
Okay.
Same amount of salt, by volume, not by weight.
Okay.
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 So first we're going to do, so it is 4 to 6 tablespoons per gallon. We're going to use 4, maybe 4.5. So this is half a gallon, so we're going to use 2 or 2.5 tablespoons of salt. And this is the salt we're using.
Kosher salt.
Kosher salt. Okay?
Is it saltier than other salts?
It is not that it's saltier than other salt, but kosher, this particular kosher salt does not have any additives. Do you know that there are ingredients in salt?
Oh, they wash it, they put ammonia on it, they do
They
all
put
kinds of things. They
aluminum.
bleach it.
Aluminum oxide.
That's so it doesn't clump.
So when
Yeah.
you buy salt,
Don't buy regular salt.
it's regular salt. But when
Like
you buy
kosher.
salt, look at the ingredients. And
Right.
one is going to be one ingredient has say salt. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put 2. There, put 2.
Okay.
And then I'm going to sort of massage it a little bit with my hand.
Rounded or heaping too?
Yeah, just whatever. Semi-rounded.
Semi-rounded.
Heaping,
Okay,
semi-heaping.
then the one
Not
for the,
an exact
one for
science.
the pot.
It is not an exact science, right?
Yeah.
We remember that every farmer's wife in Eastern Europe who couldn't read or write for
They
centuries
just made food.
made sauerkraut and was quite successful in that. So there is really no much skill to that.
That's why those women are
So-
so beautiful.
Women are like me.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyway, my hands are already wet, you see? Because the salt, you know what salt does, right?
It releases
draws-
moisture.
Yeah, it draws the moisture out of food.
Yes, if you want to make tomatoes taste better, slice them and salt them, and all the
Everything is
runny stuff comes out. They taste better.
We're making a mess. Okay,
Okay.
so now we are going to start packing it into our jars.
So this way of getting probiotics is way better than just taking a pill, correct?
Way better than taking a pill. You can still take a pill.
Why would you though? If you-
Because there are other, they put other strains in it that are not in cabbage. That
Okay.
are not in sauerkraut.
Okay,
All of a
so-
sudden they come up and they say there is this bacteria that is really good for that. You know, you
Oh,
keep
I see.
seeing,
Okay.
right? You keep seeing articles that
Yeah.
said some kind of, you know, but and so just vary also. Also, it's great to take all kinds of fermented products. And milk products, if you're eating dairy, absolutely
No,
have.
milk is not good for you after you're
Yeah, but-
12 years old.
Okay, but bacteria pre-digest it.
Yeah.
It becomes much better for you. I understand if you don't eat milk. But people, you know, coconut milk. You can have coconut
Coconut milk's
yogurt.
great
You
for
can
you,
have
yeah.
kombucha, kefir, water kefir. There is all kinds of things. Actually, I was telling Judy
My
that
nose itchy.
next time we're going to have I promised Judy we're going to have a show next time when I'm going to teach you how to make honey ferments.
Yay. So we're
Right?
stuffing.
Because honey ferments, garlic in honey is a fantastic expectorant.
And it keeps
and-
away vampires.
Yeah. Okay,
No, yeah, it
so I'm going
gets
to
rid of
show
all-
you how to pack it in
The-
it.
The honey and the garlic keep away, get all the mucus out of you, right out of your throat.
So you pack,
Really hard
you
down.
pack it down, tamp it down, and it's all going to fit.
It is? That's not all gonna fit.
That's all going to fit.
No, how did you get it down so far?
So the trick with this is put a little bit and then you tamp it on the sides.
Oh,
If you
okay.
tamp it on the side, somehow the
all
middle
that
takes
space.
care of itself.
Okay,
But also, after it sits a little bit, it gets way softer,
okay.
and you can
True.
put in a lot more.
Okay.
But if we don't fit it all in, we'll
Okay,
take it home and we'll
massaging.
get another jar. Get a bigger jar.
Yeah, well, we made kimchi with you, I think, and we made a big jar.
Yeah, it goes fast.
Yeah. Sat on the stove for what, 2 weeks? Sit on the
You
stove for 2
sit
weeks?
it not on the stove, on the
Well,
counter.
on the
you
counter,
put
but
it on
we
the
had it on the
counter.
side of our stove in,
So
in
what
a bowl of
happens
water.
is, that's what's going to happen after you do that. First, couple of days, nothing happens.
Right.
It's when the salt deals with the pathogens, right? And then the first wave of good bacteria comes. It's called Lecanostok. Lecanostok is first of the probiotic bacteria that comes in. It's the first strain, and it's tons of them. And the whole thing starts bubbling, remember?
Yeah.
And spitting.
Yeah.
And you need something. You need to put your jar in a bowl or in a plate to catch the spillouts,
Yeah.
because they're gonna have.
we
It looks
did.
like the whole thing swells up, and that happens for maybe a week.
Yeah.
The bubbles go on, and then they stop. At the point when after they stop, that you can consider the kraut fully fermented.
Okay.
At that point, see, it fit.
Well, all my cranberries are going to be on top.
That's
Just
fine.
stir it for me.
So then that first strain of bacteria, it's sort of they die down. They digest whatever they need for them.
Uh-huh.
They die down, and then other strains
And they
start
want to eat
coming.
you.
Then other strains start coming. They digest the byproduct of that first strain. So
Huh.
each strain prepares it for the next one. Okay?
Wow.
So they come overlapping, one after another overlap.
Nature is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So after that bubbling, huge bubbling, crazy bubbling stops, it is considered fermented. And after that, that means that the acidity is safe to eat.
Okay.
What's safe acidity? Do we know?
When it stops bubbling.
But what is it, pH? Do you know?
Oh, I don't remember, no.
It's supposed to be under 4.3.
Okay.
My sauerkraut that I sold was 2.8. Super
Wow,
safe to
super
eat.
safe to
And
eat.
super sour.
And super sour. I'm taking some of yours now.
Definitely. So-
Unbelievable that all fit.
Yeah,
Like a
it's
blow.
always all fit.
I am blown away, as usual, by you.
So,
You made a dessert here in 2 seconds. I said, "Oh, we have a minute and a half left," and you said, "I'm going to make this dessert." And you shredded an apple
right.
and a
Wasn't
pear.
it good?
Oh, it was so
delicious.
delicious.
Yeah,
Oh
we should
my
do
God.
that again.
Yeah.
That was a good
Oh,
idea.
you needed more. You want to take some back?
Oh, please.
Okay.
It's all good. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good
Maybe
one.
we should do about how, because this is like part of my weight loss tricks. All
Yeah.
those shredded things. Maybe
Oh.
we should do weight loss
Oh,
At
weight
some-
loss. Are you
yeah.
kidding? Everybody wants that.
at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll teach you because, you
No,
know.
because we don't care about bacteria. I'm taking it all off the counter.
So Judy and I are both slim, so we can teach you all the tricks we
Yes.
learned how to stay that
Yes.
way
How
through
to
the years.
how to grow old and fabulous in the Hamptons.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
All right. This is done.
Oh.
So now, see how we save those things?
Can
Now we need
you
them.
ferment any kind of cabbage?
Absolutely. Any kind of cabbage.
Is it does red cabbage taste a lot
Red
different
cabbage, that tastes a little different, and also red cabbage, the texture is a little different. It is a little harder.
So the leaves that we
Okay,
saved.
now we're going to also,
Oh, I can do
the
that.
most important thing we're going to do now. Can I have that picture of water?
Oh yeah.
So those bacteria are anaerobic bacteria. It means they hate oxygen. So the most important thing, and the biggest thing that people do wrong, is that all the solids in a ferment have to be submerged at all times.
Oh.
And when I say submerged, they have to have that much clear water under them, brine, I mean, right?
Under them or on top?
On top.
On top.
And
Yeah.
we're going to do, that's how we're
Can
going
you
to...
ever get sick from this kind of
You
bacteria?
cannot get sick from that kind of bacteria.
Okay.
It's very healthy.
Very healthy, and you should
Okay.
eat it every day, a bit of it every day.
So this, we're going to add on...
It keeps your whole immune system healthy, and also
It
your bowels.
helps the bacteria that are already in your intestine
Right, yeah.
to function at its best.
Yeah.
The bacteria that you eat from the ferment does not implant,
Right.
okay? But it digests the food and it creates...
So your intestines just
Because
empty
in
out.
your intestines, all the bacteria you need are already there. You just need to feed the good ones and
Yeah.
not the bad ones.
Not the
okay?
bad
There
ones.
you go.
Poop 'em
Okay,
out.
so
Poop
now
it.
we're going to put a little bit, like maybe less
Yeah.
on top and on top. Now we're going to add water to the top. To the top.
Okay.
To the top.
Oh, it's warm.
And then we're going
It's getting
to...
warm already. That's funny.
Then you're going to take a leaf, the one that was saved. And
Make it look pretty on top.
it's not because we need to look pretty on top, but because we want to, again, protect it from oxygen.
Oh, okay.
So we put this so nothing floats up.
Oh,
We sort
okay.
of cover it. And then whatever happens, if something gets a little bit compromised, that's what's going to get compromised.
Okay. Okay.
Because in commercial sauerkraut production, they throw away about 10% from the top. Because oxygen still, it is more oxygen in the upper layer of it than there.
Oh, wow.
So we're trying to prevent that. So you can pile the whole bunch of leaves. Right?
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. They
Put
fit.
a little bit more of this. Okay, and now when you come home, you're going to take a jar like this,
Yeah.
or a glass,
Yeah.
or a small jar, or anything made of glass.
Okay.
And that's going to be your weight.
Oh, fill it with
You're
water.
going to fill it with water if you need to. You can fill it with more water as it goes on.
Right.
Because remember, when it becomes all bubbly and fermented, you lose the whole bunch because it's going to spit it out, remember?
Right.
And then at one point it looks as if all the liquid gets absorbed back in. That
Do you
means
add more
because
water at
that's-
that point?
no, do not add anything. Because that means that swelling, that first bacteria that
Yeah.
is so bubbly that it all swells up, that swelling goes down. And it looks like it absorbed, like soaked up, absorbed all the liquid.
Look at how far
It
that went
didn't.
down.
You have to then perfect. Then you just press it down. You press it down with this thing. You can add more water to it, so
Put
it's
another
heavier.
leaf in the top or no?
You can if you want to, and then it will. Then whatever liquid will be there will come up.
Okay.
Because it has to be submerged.
Okay.
Right. That is the main thing. If you can have anything, it could be a little. Whatever bad thing can happen, it will happen on top, on the surface. And if they do, if something you see a little bit of the white, it's called calm yeast, sometimes happens, which is it's not toxic. Nothing, you cannot get sick from it already because the acidity will
Do
be
you have to
very low.
refrigerate it after it's done?
You refrigerate it when you close it because bacteria keep working and
After
they
it's-
keep off gassing.
Now, you keep it on your counter for what, 1 or 2 weeks?
Couple of weeks.
2 weeks.
And it's a matter of taste.
But then it's
also
delicious.
going to be ferment more in the refrigerator. When you put it in the fridge, it will taste better and better.
I'm eating a salted apple.
It won't taste like that.
Yeah, it's salty. No, it's on the side here.
Okay?
Our show's over.
Our show is over.
No, but keep talking. Anyway, everybody should do this. Super good for your health. Easy to eat because it's delicious. And you are the Kraut Queen.
Yep.
She knows everything about it. We're going to keep doing these shows because we want to get you really healthy.
If you have any questions, Nadia at krautqueen.com.
Nadia at Kraut Queen. KRAUTKU.
WEEN.
Yeah. Queen with a K. Anyway, ladies, thank you for joining us, and gentlemen who are lucky enough to see us, thank you for joining the ladies' room, and stay well, and give
see you
yourself
soon.
lots of room for fun, for love, to glow, and to grow. And you grow healthy with this stuff. Thanks again. See you next week.
Bye.
Breathe in. Breathe in. Oh, couldn't stop couldn't stop, no, couldn't stop.